Oh, wait a minute. You guys could hear me now? this whole time, this whole time I was talking on myself. Oh my God, I forgot to turn on the micro. But anyways, let's continue. Today is a really busy day for me. And so I wanted to, run down the stocks that we're gonna check today before we start. Um, I'm gonna this right here. It's all my criteria that I use. I'm gonna explain a little bit more of my criteria when I scan for the stocks to make it in very short. This crypto right here is the filter. What I use the criteria to find the crypto as well. And this is the Twitter, that I explained a little bit earlier. I use the Tesla example, but you could use the dollar sign and a different ticker symbol. And once you press enter, then you go find the news that it has, whether it's somebody that talking about the stock or the company. If they posted anything, you can see it on the X platform. So let's go ahead and jump to there. I know I wasted like 10 minutes just talking on my own without no volume. Thank God I checked, because it would have been bad if I would have talked for an hour with no volume. But thank God. And so let me see on if all the platforms are working, because I don't want to have an issue with that later as well. So before we start, okay, slower. Okay, so it's working. Alrighty, guys. So let's continue. So there's the first stock that we're gonna look at. Um, and so let's check the screener. So this right here, I mean, it tried to what I was explaining a few seconds ago. It tried to test highs. However, volume wasn't showing up. Still, it only had 6 million volume throughout the whole session right here. Way less than the average, and we don't like to see that. It's still in the consolidation period, but it failed at this attempt here, and it tried to go down and it bounced off the support level. So the support is still strong. However, the resistance right here, based on all this resistance right here, um it held the price down not only once but twice, because at this point also it tried to test the day after this move, and it failed. And it failed. This is the second time. And so, I'm not sure if it's gonna recover off of that. Right now it was all day below the VWAP. Um, we'll see what it could do. Right now at this point, we'll mark at least 2 points of reference here, just to keep tracking this. At this point is at that level right there, and let's put another point here, the lowest point here of this date versus the low that it reach out. So at some time, Tuesday, it has to do something, either break down and just keep declining, or break out and try to test the highs at least once. And so we'll see something. We'll check it, if it does that on Tuesday or this coming week. So we'll pay attention to that. But we already marked the line, so we'll continue to keep this on watch. Let's put 16 312 only for analyzing. Failed to test highs. And this was when was this? Tuesday. Tuesday highs. Still consolidating. Consolidation period. Will next week it will break out or break down? we'll want to see volume pick up. And so that's it. I mean, I know it's a paragraph there, but we've been checking this stock for 4 days, and it hasn't budged yet. I know for sure every time I leave a stock that I'm not watching, it always make some type of move. Um, but these are not the ones to right now make any moves. Right now, we're just analyzing. Same thing with BNI. The last thing we talked about was still in a consolidation period with less volume, and it has no news. Um, it did bounce off support, and we'll want it to test high day again if volume shows up. So that's kind of what we're looking for volume to show up and for it to test high day. And so let's check BNAI. And so today was the day. And but it had less volume still, but it had a breakout here. So it finally break out. Was not convincing enough for me to trade. Um, you know, had a confirmation breakout, but uh, it failed completely here. So this one was a failure still. So that would have been a breakout level here, a resistance level. And so, the bounce would have been difficult to get. Right now it bounced off these levels here of resistance. Well, of support, I'm sorry. Of support. This is a little support here, but it's not a strong support as this one right here. That's why I said once it bounced off this support level, it never looked down, you know. And so Tuesday we'll see what it does. It's still in consolidation as well, but it's a little bit more stronger than these previous days because it closed a little bit higher than these days. So it's not giving away back all of its gains. It has given back today's gains, but not all of it for these past 2 days here. So it's still up in the highs. Most likely it's resting. This is its resting period right here. And so tomorrow we might see another test here of not tomorrow, Tuesday of next week. We may see some move here going on. And this is the new high of day. That's a new high of day. So it has a couple resistance to pass by. If it breaks out these levels of resistance, then it has to deal with these two here. So it has a long road to go. Not sure what it can do. Right now the sky, right? All this, there's a lot of space here to break. So on the daily chart, it's a bad daily chart, but you can see here these resistance levels here and over here as well. Um, so those are things to pay attention as well. So but at this moment it's still in consolidation period right here. Even though it did a good move here on the top, anybody that would have held after the buy of here would have made some good money. That's why they sold. Some people that bought it here, they sold off all their shares, the rest of their shares over here. So they made some good profit after that bounce. So but everything is personal preference, and everybody has this different risk tolerance and stuff like that, and certain goals. So everything is, at the end of the day, is your choice, because you're risking your own money, to make decisions. So I'm nobody to control nobody's decisions and anything like that. I'm basically showing you guys how to find these movers like this, to help you guys get to the point where I'm at right now, which is knowing how to find them and how to trade them. And so this was a good move. Um, it didn't hold very very strong, but let's mark some lines here. So this is a uptrending support, and right now we don't have no uptrending downtrending resistance. um Only resistance are these horizontal ones, so it's still in an uptrend unless it breaks down these supporting uptrending resistance support, I'm sorry. This uptrending support line, if it gets broken and the price starts going down convincingly, then it's gonna fail, and it's gonna give away some of its gains. But at this moment, it's still showing strong, so we'll still keep this on watch. So let's go ahead and mark up. I know I took a little bit longer with this stock, but I wanted to explain the detail a little bit. 3:18 p.m. Keep on watch. It did break out, however, didn't hold much, and now is consolidating off the highs of Wednesday. Of Wednesday. P4 to bounce off uptrending support and test high day highs right there. And so let's go ahead and check the stock of to that we scanned yesterday, which was SPHL. SPHL. And so SPHL was a 1 day uh 1 day goner, or I mean there's other different ways to call it, but it ran 1 day and the next day it gave back everything. So this was it. This is pretty much it with this stock. It doesn't have no more life. This was a 1 day show. um yeah, it failed today. It went back to the average volume today traded. So yeah, this was a failure. So let's go ahead and take this one off. And let's go ahead and scan for new stocks today. 26, 3:20 p.m. And so we got this here. And okay, so this right here is Finviz, right? And so Finviz, I use this to scan stocks, and very simple, very simple to understand. It's not that I mean, it seems complex at first because you're learning. It's okay, but eventually, the more times you see it, the more times you keep doing it, um, it gets more quicker and more easier to go through, in order to find the stock that you're trying to find. So the first thing you want to do is go to screeners, right? And then it's going to show you here a bunch of stocks listed. Right here it shows 542 pages of stocks. We don't want to check all 542 pages. We want to like minimize the amount of stocks that we want to see in order to analyze what we want to trade. Whatever you're comfortable and whatever works for you at the end of the day. And so what works for me is this simple criteria that I have, right? And the way we could see more, this is right here is a really simple a sample of what to filter out, but we want to check everything. And so you press the all tab right here, and now you can see a list of things that you could go ahead and filter out to find what works for you. And so what works for me, right? The first thing I want to check is the market cap, right? What is the total value of the company? And so I like anything under 300 million. Like I've said in many streams, um, you know, uh, these companies, they have many opportunities to make good moves faster in a very short period, and they It's very easy, and I've said it many times in many streams. Like, it's very easy for a company to be a $1 million value to go up to $10 million value, than a $1 billion company or a $1 trillion company to go to 10 trillion or 10 billion, whatever that value is. And so there's those are two different animals, and in order to push price up in value, there's have to be a lot of demand for the stock, and there's have to be very little supply, you know and that's kind of the name of the game. You have to know supply and demand to understand how the market works, how businesses work, and everything. And so this is kind of like a little summary of what I'm showing you guys. So the total market value of the company, the total value of the company has to be anything, my personal preference, anything 300, under 300 million is fine to me. And so they call it micro cap. And so on to the next one is price. And so price right here, I like to see anything from $1 to 20. I don't do smaller than that, than $1. It's more, that's more penny stocks. It's more risky. It does not mean you cannot trade it. You could trade them, and if you know what you're doing, you can make some good money. However, my personal preference is over $1 and no more than 20. you know and so this is very cheap, to afford. It's not like $100 per share or $200 per share. In order to own 100 shares, I mean, you gotta waste a fortune to earn one of those companies, to earn some share of those companies. So that's hard. But these stocks right here is very affordable. With a couple $1,000, you could go ahead and invest in these companies. And whatever your strategy that you guys have, that works for you. And so on the third column right here, if you hover the mouse, you also have relative value. And so this is a ratio, right, that is used uh to kind of calculate the current volume versus the average volume over, in this case, in this website, is over a 90-day period, which is a 3 month, something like that, 3 months. And so many people do it for more extended time, but in this case we'll use this relative volume calculation, which is from the Finviz. And I like anything over 5 ratio. And so if you hover the mouse also to industry, you see here the stocks. I like to only see the stocks of today, and the performance of the stocks has to be running. They have to go up. I like to see them up, running. And the current volume has to be over 1 million, right? Preferable over 10 million. That's preferable. But in this case, to have a little bit more wider look, 1 million is okay. And the reason why is because the supply, which is the float. The float is the supply. you know and so many people doesn't understand the float. I mean, there's many people that would explain it correctly, way more eloquent. But the short summary of it, it says the number of shares available for the public to trade, public trading, does not include shares held by the insiders, which the insiders are shareholders, right? That are either could be the owners of the company, or it could be the employees of the company. And so those are private shares that cannot be traded in the market. Now, there's some shares that the company lets loose, for public trading, and that right there helps the company either go up in value or go down in value depending on the supply and demand. So that's kind of the little summary. And so float, I like anything under 10 million, and this is kind of my criteria right here. And I like to open up. I like to see more clearly what I'm looking at here. All this is just a lot of junk, so I like to take all that off just by going to custom, and I take the number out, I take the company, the sector, the industry, the country, the market cap, and the PE ratio. And you see You see a little bit here more clearly, right? So also I like to take the percentage change because the market is closed right now, and it's just in my way. So the only thing I will add to this is the relative volume, and right here on this other column is the shares float. And now we can see here five different columns here. You got the ticker symbols of the companies right here, and you have the float, the relative volume, the current volume, and the price of the stock, or the price per share for the stock. And so I like to sort out by volume, from high to lowest. And so right here we have a pretty wide amount of stocks here to look at. I know I have a really short day. Um, there's plenty. I mean, I would like to look at all of them, but in this case, I'll probably look at five of them, five or four of them. Um, we'll see how long it take us. Because I mean, we got this one right here, 2,500. Wow, and 47 relative volume. That's very high relative volume. It might have gapped up. The stock might have gap up. Yeah, well, it did gap up but a little bit, but it made a massive move. We'll look at some of these. I'll most likely do probably like a part two, probably tomorrow before I start the gaming stream. um because we're gonna continue tomorrow Saturday for Lego Star Wars. That's gonna be very fun. I would recommend you guys to watch those streams too, because it's very fun. I like that game. A lot of stuff in there. So our mission is to finish that game, and then try to like see other games as well that I haven't seen in a long time, or maybe new games that we have never played. So we'll look into that eventually. But yeah, the weekends I take it for for fun time, and just stream and talk to you guys as well. So let's go ahead and check Vero. Vero is very known. I've seen this one. Even JagX is another one that I've seen as well. PRFX as well. So these show up not every time, but once in a while you see it's the same stocks that you've traded before. This one for years I've been trading. I made some money with these. Um, Today it traded 306 million shares traded. So since we have a long weekend, this is what happens. Sometimes people just want to take advantage of this day, because they're not going to see the market till Tuesday. So they're trying to squeeze out a little bit their money, in profits, so they could make more money, so that they can have a nice weekend and stuff like that. So this is what happens, a lot. It happens a lot. Now regular Fridays, you won't see this much activity unless the market is very hot. But today is hot because you know it's a long weekend. It's a long weekend. Although Monday it's it's off. Stock market is off, so the traders only have 4 days to trade next week. So they trying to take advantage this week. So that's why you see this little bit more activity. So let's go ahead and look at Vero really quick and see the price action. So this was a massive move. And people prepare for this because they saw it running in after hours. I'm shocked that I didn't see this in my scanners yesterday. I'm very shocked. Uh, but it didn't had a confirmed pullback, so I wouldn't pay attention of it much. This right here was a confirmed pullback. This right here was a. It doesn't have to be after a nice green spike right here, but I mean, it doesn't have to be here where the red is, the first red, but it could be a couple after that. That should be fine. As long as you see it clearly downtrending, then it's okay. As long as it has two or more red candles, that's more confirmed pullback. And so I marked the highest either these candles or before that. all the way to market open. And so the highest levels are right here at this point, right here. I don't know if you guys could see it clearly. Oh, there we go. Yeah. And so that's the point right there. And so this candle will be the confirmation breakout, because the candle closed above the resistance level, and I would have got in here at this other candle right here, and this right here would have been a profit. Um, it got up to 15%, which is great, and it went all the way up to as much on pre-market as much as 37%. But I wouldn't be tolerant on this price action right here, this short-term price action. I would have got out somewhere between 5 or 10%. That right there would have been my day. And so many people have different strategies, different ways to trade. Some people would have waited for a bounce off the support level or the bounce off VWAP, but today didn't do any of those. You know, the 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 pullback. Let's see. This is another confirmation breakout. Pullback. I'm sorry, another confirmation pullback. This one is another one too. So anything very close to each one of these confirmation pullback, you always want to see your surroundings. Which one is the tallest one? And so as you can see, this one right here is the most high one, especially in all pre-market, is the highest point right here. And so that right there, you could either wait for another confirmation breakout and take advantage of this one right here was a 6%. You would have got some profit there as well. I would have got some profit there. Some people would have wait for the pullback and bounce off this support level and took all this move, or they would have took a little bit of the move up to this point right here, this high right here. This is another confirmation pullback, as well as this point too is another confirmation pullback. So you can mark all these, but you don't want to make a lot of mess. And that right there, you would have been losing it a little bit. So you can mark that area, but these are the more stronger resistant lines and support lines here that you would have got. So um I will take that one off, and this is more clear. And so as you can see, it right here is a nice bounce too. But right here, once it had a confirmation breakout at the pullback, once it bounced off this, it just came up very, very high at this moment. So at the bounce, you could have caught it, and it went up to the highs of 61%. Look at that. In 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes. 25 minutes, you would have made some good chunk money, really good money. And so it didn't held its highs. So for continuation, it's very hard to see if I don't think this would recuperate these type of highs right here. It gave back a lot of its gains today. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Let me mark it again. And that's unfortunate. If it would have closed somewhere around here or consolidated at the close, then I would be more confident to see a continuation move on Tuesday. So, but in this case, it gave back half of its gains in the entirety of the move. And I'm not sure, it has to pull back up to this point and most likely bounce. This is already a forefront move. The back end of the move would be somewhere around here. I don't know if it's gonna be Tuesday or any time of that week. Most likely it could be a bounce, but not I'm not confident that it could reach these highs again. So I think this was a 1 day move. And whoever took advantage of it, congrats to you guys. But that was it. I'm not gonna add it to the list, but it was a good one to see. Um, right here, it had a couple history of moving, you know, and but it failed. Just like look, you see, had a nice gain, but it then failed to hold those highs. Same thing with this day. Had a nice move here, and then it failed. And guess what happened the next day? It just gapped down and just crashed. This one didn't have something similar. This one had a similar day as well. Opened really good. It went high, but then it failed completely. And then what happened the next day? It just gapped down and died. You know, plenty of history here of running, and it has these have certain patterns that repeat and repeat and repeat, and you have to learn these patterns. And so had a couple bad well, the majority of this stock earnings, they're all really bad earnings. Had a bunch of stock splits, so this company's not overall great. The only good earnings it had was this day right here in July last year, but overall it's not good. August actually, it had earnings in August. So yeah, this one I'm counting it out. Uh, had a great move all morning. The reason it went up like that. Let's see if we could find some news so you guys could understand the reason. And so um it says today, Venus Concept stocks explodes over 500 after major investor takes control. See what I'm talking about? When there's big investors investing in the stock, sorry, you'll see good moves like this, and that's kind of what you want to pay attention when you're watching the news, you know. And so a big investor took over and bought a big part of shares of this company. And so uh we'll see what else gonna happen if more news come around and try to hype this stock. Then we might see a couple days of it moving, but in this case, that for this price to get back up to 1291 92, there's got to be a lot of demand for it. So but I won't have it on watch. 307 million volume was perfect, was awesome, and the float was 1 million, very low float. And this is what happens when there's a lot of demand versus least less a lot less float, supply, which is the supply. Then you see these big moves happen, and it happens every day. Maybe not this magnitude, but 30, 40, 50%, or even 100 is perfect. You only need a little bit. You only need this little bit in order to, if you can make consistently this amount of profit all the time, then you can make some good vacation money, some good money to pay your bills, or you can make this as a career as well. Everything depends on your choice. But in this case, yeah, we're not gonna look at this stock. We're not gonna prepare for it. Let's go to the next one. JFBR is the next one. JFBR. So JFBR had another good move this morning. However, it failed to hold a VWAP. It's a failing stock right now. The reason why it went up, we're gonna check right now. It says here, Jeff Brands Ltd. Keeps Zone AI entered into a non-exclusive distribution agreement. So it's a contract news. This is a contract news. Let's see if it has something extra on the other web. Yeah, so it has a deal. So this is a contract news. It's a contract news, very important for a stock. Contract news lasts a couple days, sometimes weeks. It did not had a good run after our afternoon. It had a poor run, and this was unfortunate. I mean, I would have loved for it to consolidate. If it was gonna pull back it and consolidate like this all the way to the to the close, perfect. Because that right there would have been a good way for to attract more buyers, to push this price up and test these highs right here of resistance. So but it failed to do that. I'm not sure if it's gonna continue. Right now, it's half of its gains right now gone, and it's very separated from the VWAP line. So very hard. The way you would play this is right now you have a confirmation pullback right here. This is the highest of all pre-market. You would have marked here, and your entry. I mean, unfortunate, you would have had a loss here on both ends here. Um, this was yeah, this was no move. The only good move this thing had was a bounce off the resistance of the support, which was the support, and you would have got it two times here, one and two times. But for a breakout, it was unsuccessful. Unsuccessful. I would have lost a little money here on this one, and so, but we're gonna continue. We're gonna continue watching more stocks. Let's see the other one. Because this right here, I won't pay attention. It didn't close strong, and I don't see it moving more higher than that. So I will put only a resistance line here, and that's pretty much it with this one. So let's go on to the next one, JAGX, which is another stock that I've traded many times. So we'll look at this one, JAGX. And this one had a really interesting move right here. Another great move. Right now, after hours has given up half of its gains. Again, very, very separated from the VWAP, which I don't like to see. But right here, you would have made a play. Let's see. This is the highest point of pre-market, and it had a confirmation pullback right here. You could see it clearly. And right here, would have been very difficult to trade. Um, this is no confirmation pullback, so you would have had to, this right here for me, it would have been a loss because it went down as 10%. Me, I would have cut it off way before 5%. So I would have took a little loss here on this next candle because the confirmation breakout would have been right here. But some people would have waited for the bounce off support, like right here, and got a little bit of gain. So those who play the bounce, they have there's a lot of opportunities today. I mean, there was a lot of opportunities. So that's a good one, and that was a good move for the bounce. Breakout. I would have it look unfortunate. It's unfortunate for me. So that's terrible to see that it was no opportunity for me to take advantage. But it's okay. As long as you keep your losses very small, you shouldn't have no issues continuing trading. And let's say for the day, right, that you're trading, if you have, let's say, three losses or two losses for that day, do not try to force a win, just because you want you don't want to feel the loss that you took, which was, if you traded very smart and you took the two losses very small, then you don't have to, you could call it a day. It's fine. You took the loss, then you learn off that, you learn off the move, and you could survive for the next day. Just don't try to force a win, because sometimes it could be a bigger loss. So if if I lost, you could make a rule for yourself. If you lose three times for today, you call it off, and you could survive, and you trade for the next day. Maybe today was not your day. Not every day is gonna be perfect, and you can know how to trade all you want, but if today was not a great day to trade, the market is not gonna it's like the casino. You could know how to play all you want, uh any card games or whatever, but the house, its rule is to win all the time, as much as they can, because they need to make a profit. So the market is the same way. They run all these computers and everything, and you're going against all these computers and regular people as well. But it's very hard to trade, especially days like today. It's just there was some opportunities, but the patterns were not showing up. But some people win, some people lose. As long as you keep your losses very small, then you could fight another day. But this bounce, you would have won some money right here on this bounce. So even if you would have lost something on the bounce, you would have caught you would have broke even most likely. But it had a good move, it had a good move. So congrats to those who caught it on the bounce. And also, you if you study the volume right here, these volume candles, you can understand when the volume is picking up, because these right here, these long ones, are the majority compared to these other candles that are very very small. So you know, uh, you need to study everything at the end of the day. But yeah, that was a good one. It closed strong. I would have loved for it to hold off the highs, but it failed. It went down and it's now consolidating off these mid prices here. Not sure if it's gonna face gonna test these highs right here. And right now it's going down again. So it's unfortunate, but I won't keep this one on the chart, on the stock, on the list. And so we'll go to the next one. I appreciate everyone for showing up, showing over here. Whoever's watching, thank you so much for showing support. Don't forget to hit the like, the share, and the follow. I only ask, my goal every day is for at least 2 likes. If you guys could help me with that and hit a like at the stream, I would appreciate it. And so let's go ahead and continue. So PRFX is the next one. And before we go to PRFX, let's check what was the reason why this stock moved this way. It says here, trial success, had a clinical trial success, signed a $18 million deal. So this is another contract news. A lot of people who does investments might not have seen this move or the news. They might have waited for the afternoon to study the stock and then make decisions on the trading day available, which is going to be Tuesday. So a lot of people on the weekend are going to see what I'm seeing here, and they're going to say, "Oh my God, I can't believe I missed this." And right now is that it might be a good price for them to grab it. Everything depends on how well the stock is doing and what are their type of analysis, and who knows, we might see this kick higher on Tuesday. But for very short term technical analysis, right now for me personally, it's not ready. You know, it's not ready to test these highs. Now, if it reclaimed the VWAP and it was strong consolidating off these highs to Tuesday, then I would have considered holding it. And paying and analyzing for Tuesday for probably a possible test here. Of these highs. But in this case, no. It's not going to be on my list. LCFS, I think it's the last one we're gonna do. Yeah, I'm not gonna look at these other ones. LCFFY, actually. LCFY is my last one. Um, I failed as well. A lot of okay opportunities on the top, but for breakout, I would have never um got an opportunity because it didn't have no confirmation breakout. It bounced off these lows, but I don't think anybody would have you know got it out of they some of the buyers got stacked up here. That's why they pushed it up. Those who look at the level 3 would have took advantage of this, but um I wouldn't risk. It gave all of its gains back at those 10 minutes. In those 10 minutes, it gave back all of its gains and it attract more buyers. But that's not what works for me. You know, for some people it does. Now I would have tried a buy off the bounce if it would have break out right convincingly. I would have got it at the breakout, took a profit there, wait for the pullback off the support level, and then rebuy again and take my other profit once it before it reaches the high that it went. That's kind of what I would have planned. But in this case, it failed and it gave back half of its gains again, a little bit more half than its gains, and it's separated from the VWAP as well. So unfortunate, unfortunate. These two, TNMG and Baya. Let's check TNMG really fast. TNMG, because I don't want to miss no stones unturned. Um, had some opportunities here. Not for the breakout as well. It failed for the breakout. Uh, you know, there was some bounces here, but I mean, just like I said before, I would have waited for the breakout, confirmation breakout, and a bounce off the support. That would have been a stronger support level than this bounces here. These are unpredictable, a little bit more unpredictable, unless you're watching the level 3 and the level 4. So this was unfortunate, not good. And Baya is the next one. I know I'm going a little bit faster. It's just I don't want to. I have a busy day today, so um, this right here, eh, another one. And this is the highest point of the pre-market. So you would have had a hard time here. There was no testing off these highs. Only if you would have watched it at this point, you would have marked a resistance line right here and got a little profit off this move right here, which is it was only 7%. So you would have got a little profit there, but very short term. It then pulled back very strong and got under the VWAP. It tried to test the highs again, but it failed, and it got it's been all day below the VWAP. So that's unfortunate. All these stocks had good moves, but they didn't. Did none of them hold enough to test for the next day. Not for the next day, for the next trading time available, which is going to be Tuesday. So unfortunate. Nothing right now at this moment to analyze for Tuesday. Let's see. This is the last one. TNMG. We checked Baya already. Yeah. So yeah, this is pretty much it. I'm not gonna look at none of these. I like very much Vero. But if it closed very, very weak, that top one, yeah, it closed very weak. So that's why we didn't put it on the list. I would have loved for it to like consolidate around these areas, but today it had a excellent day, excellent. And whoever traded it, I mean, congrats to you guys. So that was pretty much it for the stocks. Let's go ahead and jump to the crypto. Crypto, no stocks today. Today we'll scan Tuesday for new stocks. So I'll put all this information on the Discord, and we'll have these still on watch. These two stocks still on watch for analysis purposes. BDNX is the first crypto that we're gonna check. Wait a minute. What did I say there? BDNX. XN. I'm sorry. BDXN. And for crypto. And so right here, as you can see, today it had a breakout. Oh wow. Very, very good breakout. See, it broke out off these this resistance level. See, it was mainly off this uptrending resistance line. And the horizontal resistance line. Let me see if I can mark this a little bit better. Hold on a second, guys. There we go. So once it break out right off these resistance level, it had to deal with this other resistance uptrending resistance line. That's why it didn't took off immediately. Right when it got down, it gained back. It sucked in all the buyers, And that's why right there you can see that tremendous move. Those 2 days, my goodness, 3 days actually. Let's analyze all of it. That's 164%. So you would have made 59% actually. So that's a outstanding move. Outstanding move right there. And if you would have caught it at the breakout completely at or after bounce of the trending support, you would have got, if you would have held, it went all the way to 50 something percent, something like that, 53%. But everything at the end of the day is your strategy, whatever works for you. um right here, this would have been bad for me on the confirmation breakout, you know, off these levels right here. It consolidated at this move right here. I would have waited more for more clear confirmation breakout, like somewhere around this or up here. Very hard to see, uh, but it was a good move. Very good move right here. Let me see if I can find a confirmation pullback. So this is one, right? The same thing as this one, and this one is a higher point right there. So it bounced off this level. So some people would have caught it here at this little bounce right here. And this is another confirmation resistance line. So, I would have had a hard time trying to understand. I would have took little small losses. To be honest, I would have took little small losses here. I don't know if I would have kept holding these highs here. Especially with you don't have a there's no VWAP here. I would have based everything based on the reaction of these support levels. Very hard trade to make, but for those who trade it off these levels right here, bouncing levels, kudos to you guys. Um this is what cryptos and stocks do, these type of moves. The point is to find them, and once you find them, everything, it gets way more easier, because that's where you guys want to focus on. Once you find the stocks that you're trying to trade, what's comfortable for you, then trading is way easier, because the more you analyze and the more you study the stocks and everything, the more better you get, and especially off the losses, that's where you learn the most. If you lose and you analyze your loss, then you could be much better for the next trade, so that doesn't mean you gotta go lose all the time, but you learn a lot off losing. You know, you don't want to go ahead and purposely lose. You want to trade to make profit. That's the goal. But sometimes you unfortunately lose, and so you have to study and analyze what you did wrong. What was your entries and exits? What was your goal at the first point? And try to make adjustments. Trends don't look the same all the time, but there's certain patterns that you see on and on and on, and you could pick up on them, like this move right here. This right here would have been a nice breakout point here. Let's see, let me mark right here, this downtrending. I know you guys not going to be able to see clearly. Let me take all this stuff off. So you got this downtrend. Let me see if I could change the color. Nah, you guys can't see clearly with that. Eh, maybe if I up the opacity to 4, maybe like that, maybe. So you can see that downtrending resistance. Once it broke out those levels, it just never looked back. That right there, um, very very good move right there to make. But this is more advanced for you guys. But it's always good to learn. It's always good to learn. So this one is the first one. I'm not sure if it's gonna recover off that drop right there. very hard to recover, but it had a nice 3 days here. Very nice, good move. So congrats to whoever took care of this, and planned for this. We said will it break out again? It did broke out. It did broke out and had a good move there. So let's check EDD. Had a great move today and tomorrow. Oh, not tomorrow. Well, yeah, tomorrow it's not gonna recover, but today, but failed most of the move as it given back most of its gains. So I'll wait here for 1-2 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll remove this thing now. But at least it's on the at least it's on the stream, and you guys could go back, screenshot it, and analyze it. And so we'll take it off because we no longer have to track that one. It already did what we planned. And so let's go ahead to EGG, the next one. Um, and so EGG, I think we did had a problem with this guy the last time we checked it. Oh my God, EGG. So let's open a second tab because I don't wanna. Oh my God, let's see. Add read. I don't want to mess that web before I go and check. So EGG, I think it's this one right here. Let me put it in large cap. So there's plenty here. Not sure which one is the one. Movie, nope, not this one. Sometimes I'm gonna start writing the actual name of the company instead of writing the ticker symbol sometimes, because and this is for crypto. Now for stocks, I could write the ticker symbol and no problem. You'll find it because you can't copy other company names and stuff like that. This right here, it has a different name, but they have the same ticker symbol, which is not great. It confuses everything. So that one is moving. I'm not gonna spend too much time on this one. Um, on watch, waiting for a pullback bounce off support. Watch 15, 26, 2020, 22, 45. But it's unfortunate that I can't find this thing. EGG. Next tree, Ed Dog. Not it either. Unfortunate. EGG. Goose Finance, maybe? It had a nice trend there. Well, it was a downtrending trend, but it has these bounces like this wave. It's not even showing me the dates or nothing. Oh my goodness. Right there. It's not looking clear. So yeah, we're gonna skip that one. I'm not gonna focus on more on that one. Unfortunate. Rismas. Let's see. So you see, there's not. This is the only one made for this stock. So it had another excellent move. Wow. Let's see if we can find that here. Riz Rismas crypto right here. Boom. Okay, so it had this more stair stepper pattern. We did look at this move right here. Not sure if it would it did qualify for the breakout Um, oh, sorry about that. Let me fix it right there. So that green candle, it barely made it on that move right there, barely. So you could give it leeway, and as long as it hit that line or surpasses it, you could give it that leeway. Now, if it's under it, then no. I wouldn't qualify it as a confirmation breakout. It went this candle would have you would have made some money, right? 25%, which is pretty good. Now, if you felt doubtful about it, you could have also take this as a confirmation breakout and made a little more profit here on 10%, So you would have still got some money off of those two moves there. Uh, you know, off this bounce right here off support, it couldn't do no more off the support, and it did a reverse uptrending confirmation here, and it hasn't looked back up back down, so that's a good move right there. Let's see if we can mark some trend lines right here. It gave back a little bit, half a little more. It didn't give back all of it, but it gave back a decent amount of its gains. Let me push down that one and change the color, which is, it could be that one right there. That's fine. So we'll see if it bounces off the support level and break out these highs. It could probably test maybe half of its gains here at these highs, or it could test these highs again. We'll see what it can do, but it's still running. So this right here, let me put another trend line. So the low this day and the low of that day. So you got, once it goes down, it's gonna drop, all most of its gains once it dropped that level. So that's unfortunate. So it's very hard to predict where it can go, but off these levels, we could at least analyze very short term of what these cryptos can do. But we'll analyze this again only for analysis. For analysis. Waiting for a bounce off support, possible tests. Test off down trending resistance breakout to test highs, high of day. And the date, today's date was 1/16/26, and the time was 4/11. We'll put the time of where the stock is at right now. So it's 00.10, somewhere around there. 10. And this was on the 17, actually, not the 16. So we got that one. FitFi is the next one, and the last one that we check. We're gonna start checking before we scan the crypto. FitFi. So let's do the not this one. FitFi. There we go. Okay, so FitFi gave back most of its gains. Right now, it's at a downtrend. Not great to see. This is the highest recent resistance line right here. Let's mark that correctly. Yeah, so this one is no good. Not good to continue to see. We'll remove it off the document, and let's go ahead and scan for new crypto before we end. We almost done, guys. I know it's very short, short video for me, but I have other things going on right now. So once you get to this, this is the site that I use to go ahead and scan the crypto. I use CoinMarketCap, and if you don't see this, if you see this screen, just don't forget to hit this button right here so you can take you back to the menu, to the main menu. And so this main menu, you're gonna hit the filter right here, and you're gonna see this screen. What you should do is focus on the market cap, which is the company total value of the company. So just like I said, it's going to be a little bit different than the stocks, but it almost have the same principles. Market cap, I like to focus anything a million to 10 million. And the volume, which is the demand, I like to focus a million to 100 million. And the percentage change, which it says price change, but it's more the percentage change, any 10 to 500,000%. You click apply, and then you sort out 24-hour percentage. And as you can see here, we have four new crypto right here to check. SQT. So we're gonna look at this SQT. And SQT right here had a good one, a good move. We're gonna go ahead and write those down. Most likely today I'm not gonna be able to do too much analysis on it, but I'm gonna write it down because I have to go already. My wife gave me a signal already. So let's go ahead and finish off 4:15 p.m. and market time. Market time. This was 1600 military time. And so SQT is the one to check. So I'm gonna write the name as well because I don't want to confuse myself later on when tomorrow we're gonna finish these right here. Subquery. Wait a minute. Subquery network. So we're gonna check. We're gonna analyze this one. Next one to analyze is DRX. This one has a little longer name, but it's running today. Very good move there that we see. DRX, and it's DRX token 1626, and it's 4:15 p.m. or 4:16 actually, and it's around the same time. Market time 1600. Let's put 1600. That's okay. We'll analyze them tomorrow before we start the gaming. And let's see, we got two more to go. K, which is sidekick. K sidekick 1626 4:17 p.m. Market time 1600. And then we got this one came out again. It showed up again. Nibiru. I'm not sure why. We'll look at it. It's on a down. It looked like a downtrend here, but we'll add it just because right, it's above the percentage change that we want to see. And so Nibiru is the other one that we're gonna look at. Nibi. Nibiru 116.26, and it's 4:17 p.m. in market time. It probably a little bit more than 1600, but we're just gonna add 1600 just to know, just for a reference where we were looking at this thing. And so this is the crypto that we have marked up. We're gonna analyze it. It's uptrending as well. This one, which is the sidekick one, really good. Haven't checked Nibiru yet, but we're gonna analyze these tomorrow. So hang on for those. I appreciate those who watch the stream and everything. Don't forget to hit the like, the share, and the follow, and share to other platforms as well. On the Rumble, you can repost the stream and as well. That I would appreciate that as well. So this is pretty much it, guys, for everything. I know it's very short, but I have things right now going on. Um, I appreciate every single one of you guys. And I hope you guys have a great afternoon, a good night as well for some of you guys. And yeah, don't forget to continue to follow my journey here, showing you guys how to find stocks and everything and analyze. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So let's go ahead and close everything out, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Tomorrow we have the gaming series to continue on Lego Star Wars. So I hope you guys follow my stream as well tomorrow. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. All right. Have a good one, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.